Hello, everyone. Um, Let me know if you guys can hear a bit of that background music coming. That is coming straight from the game right now. So it looks like everything is working on my side, but I want to know how things sound on your side. Hello, Yurei. It's been a while. Hello, Chris. Hey, Hans. It's been a while. Hey, Unsphered. Hello. So, let's see, Chris, you are upgrading and your budget is 3K. What do I recommend for that price range? You are probably looking at a really high quality step up, I would say. 3K is a good budget. I would say that before it used to be around 2,000 to 2,500 was a good price range for a really quality step up model, but 3K nowadays will give you a little bit more wiggle room. So you have a lot to choose from. You know, a lot of like you have a lot to choose from with that price range. It's really, really good budget you've got there. So good job saving up. Yeah, you want a little bit of gold or a gold head joint. Oh, you may not be able to get away with an entirely gold head joint on that budget, but you could definitely get away with a little bit of gold in probably the riser, I would say. So, so you're probably looking at something that's like silver plated with like a silver and then possibly like a gold riser, like a silver head joint with a gold riser. Yeah, Deanna, hello. Sorry about the music disappearing. I'm just kind of standing in Fontaine right now, and so the music kind of comes and goes. Let's see. I've been working full time lately, Hans. That's great. Oh my gosh, Unsphered, you bought bagpipes. That is amazing. That is actually amazing. Okay, so Chris, hello. Welcome back. How are you doing? Another Chris. All the Chris's. So, okay. So I did want to just very quickly explain what this stream is about. I know I haven't done it in a hot minute. It's just been, life has been really crazy. And I've also been trying to catch my breath a little bit. So this year has been nuts. And, there's been a lot that I've had to deal with emotionally and also just like mentally. So I have been going through the story in one of the games that I regularly play on stream. So if you guys have not seen those, they are the Flutist Off-Hours gaming streams. And I'm trying to keep it to pretty much just story stuff, which has beautiful music like what you're hearing right now and amazing story. Just so this can be something that you guys can put on in the background while you like do chores or work or like whatever else you're doing. I just want this to be really relaxed and really just kind of like, this is me on vacation. So yeah. I would have streamed earlier, guys. I would have streamed earlier if not for some things happening. We have had to do, I won't go into great detail about it, but we have had some emergency home repairs again. So that has been really not super stressful considering how well everything kind of played out, but it certainly has been a time. So any of you guys who are homeowners will understand that feeling. So that kind of pushed off these streams for quite a bit because there's a lot of waiting. And I wanted to stream when I knew that things were going to be relaxed and quiet. So yeah. Microwave Chinese for dinner. No, we're having leftovers. Jake Ortiz, hello. How are you? Um. Oh, and Spear, you found your earplugs. Fantastic. So Chris A, if you're looking for a flute with all the bells and whistles, if you want to stay within that 3K budget you've got going there, I think you can get away with finding some, like, some flutes now with all the bells and whistles. So we're talking C sharp trill, split E, B foot joint, gizmo. I guess offset G would have to be there if you're having a split E. All of those things, I think you can get that on a lot of step up flutes now, step up intermediate flutes. So you are shopping at a very good time, is what I'll say. So, ooh, making curry stew right now. That sounds really good. That sounds really, really good. Okay, shall we get started? I wanted to catch up with you guys a little bit before I jumped into gaming. So we are just going to continue the story. A lot of this is going to be like talking to people and like very RPG like role-playing game. There might be some fighting, some minimal fighting, but I think most of it is going to be story. So that's going to be really lovely. Tomash, hello. Welcome, welcome. I got your email, by the way. Thank you so much for the lovely note. I just haven't had time to reply. Yeah. Okay. Shall we begin? Let's go here, and then let me make this visible. And here we are in Fontaine. You guys will notice that the map has expanded since the last time I played on camera. And yeah, as you can see, I've done my homework to unlock all of the waypoints. So let's get going. Let's see what we're going to do. Do let me know if the sound is loud enough for you guys. I didn't really change my settings since the last time, but if things need to be louder or softer, just let me know. And let me know if it's my audio or the game audio that needs to be louder or softer. So you guys can be my tech people, okay? So here we go. Finally navigating to where we need to go. So I think at this point we had just found out that the people of Fontaine can be dissolved with primordial seawater, I believe it is. So, fun. So we are trying to see what the big conspiracy is behind all of that. And the prophecy.
I came here several times with my father when I was little, but stopped eating here as often after growing up. I hope the food here will be to your taste.
Oh, don't worry. We haven't eaten at a hotel like this in a while. Paimon's getting excited already.
In that case, I'll go order for us first. Please wait here a moment.
Ooh, everything looks so good. People in Fontaine sure know how to enjoy life.
Oh my gosh, is that French onion soup?
Why, of course. Go ahead, try whatever you like. If the food's good, I'll make a group reservation for the rest of Spina di Rosula next time.
I don't know if you guys can hear, but do you guys hear like the detail in how they edit the voices to actually sound like they're echoing because they're in like a big room? I do find that's really cool that they do that.
And if it's not?
Well, then I'll still bring everyone. Albeit with only one dish per table.
You, sure have your own way of doing things. Oh, we called this a farewell meal, but we could also treat it like a victory feast, right? We did just win that case after all.
It's certainly worth celebrating.
Oh, true. Very true. In that case, boss, we'll have another 2 dishes.
Huh? Paimon didn't mean that you had to order even more food.
That is most definitely French onion soup.
Speaking of cases, do you think that the mastermind behind the serial disappearances will get caught soon now that this has all happened?
Well, we've certainly taken a big step forward, but I feel that's about it. We know that there's an organization that means to dissolve these young women, but we still don't know what they are really after.
Unsphered, I think the voice actor for Paimon would be thrilled to know that you think so, because unfortunately a lot of people actually find their voice very, very high. I personally don't have a problem with it. In fact, sometimes even I will speak that high myself. You know, so that's it. Yeah, I have found that Paimon's voice has gotten more and more like interesting as the story has progressed. So you guys will notice that like their voice sounds very different in the beginning of the game when they first launched in 2020. And you can really tell that these voice actors have really started to become much more comfortable in their roles, and they're more they're given a little bit more leeway to express and also to improv. So I do find that the acting gets better and better as you keep going in Genshin Impact. It's really awesome to see that progress over the years.
If it hadn't happened right in front of us, Paimon wouldn't have ever believed that a person could be dissolved like that.
Right? Yet it was because this was such a preposterous notion that the investigation could never really move forward before.
Ugh. If only that guy could have finished speaking. We were so close to hearing who was behind it.
Yeah, so for those of you who didn't catch that last part of the last stream that I did, the person literally just dissolved into water before he could finish speaking. Like that's what Paimon is referring to.
In such investigations, even the smallest step can seem like a yawning chasm if the trail of clues is cut off. To be honest, I don't have high hopes for any follow-up that the authorities might conduct. It's not that I don't have faith in their ability. It's just that a different perspective is required in some matters. It's easy to guard against and deceive a single narrow perspective. A shift in thinking is required at such times in order to produce a breakthrough. Which is exactly why the Spina di Rosula exists.
I love how absolutely massive that teacup is.
Those highfalutin folk are not all-knowing. That's why we exist. To seep into the cracks where filth falls through. Where their watch fails them. That's the kind of problems we solve.
I'm gonna be completely real. I did not know that highfalutin was spelled like that.
Seems Paimon thought things were simpler than they actually are.
It's all right. Well, this was supposed to be a farewell meal, so I doubt you have further interest in this business, right? Let's talk about something else. Like, what are your future plans?
We wanted to ask the Hydro Archon for some information, but we haven't had much opportunity to do so.
That's true. We didn't have a chance to speak to her after the trial ended. It didn't really seem like the right time or place to do it anyway.
I see. So, your primary objective, which has been foiled so far, was to have a chat with the Hydro Archon.
Yes.
I've heard that
Sean,
there's a long line of
hello.
people waiting to
Welcome.
meet Lady Farina. I suspect you'll be waiting for quite a while, considering that you missed your chance today.
Yeah, we've heard that she's super popular here in Fontaine, and that it'll be tough getting any of her time.
Well, would you consider some more, unique ways? Perhaps even methods of, let's say, questionable legality?
Ooh.
Guess that's Spina di Rosula's boss for you. Chock full of sketchy ideas. Well, what did you have in mind?
Yeah, Sean, I'm really excited to hear what the jaw specialist has to say for your case. So I think that'll help you be a lot more comfortable.
Well, one way would be to infiltrate a performance troupe at the Opera House, only to abandon your act at the play's climax and ask to speak to her after the performance. I'm sure Lady Farina would be eager to see the ending, and would agree in order to finish watching the play. Don't you think?
Could you suggest something a little more practical? This plan seems pretty hard to pull off. We'd have to go learn how to act, and acting's really hard.
Awesome, Sean.
Alright, here's another. Find a way to conceal yourselves under her bed. Then, wake her up in the dead of night and demand answers. Don't let her go back to sleep until she answers all your questions.
I do find that it's ironic that they talk about how hard it is to act, and yet these voice actors are acting.
I can personally testify that this one works. When I'm sleepy, I'll do anything as long as I can finally get some sleep.
That might work, but that's not really the problem. The problem is we don't want to get ourselves arrested.
Ah, valid point. I overlooked that part. I was just thinking about leveraging a person's desire for sleep.
I think we have been fugitives in at least 2 Archon quests now. How can you overlook something like that?
All right, no more joking around. Perhaps you could... Oh, I don't know. Cut the line when she's on a break. You did defeat her in court, clearing citizens of hers from false accusations. False accusations she had nearly upheld personally. I imagine that she feels quite
Catch you
ashamed
later,
about
Sean.
the whole thing.
You have a good one too.
You mean that if we catch her while she's on a break, she might be too embarrassed to refuse? Oh, that does make some sense.
Would someone with her personality really feel shame?
Why don't we give it a try after this meal? You know, strike while the iron is hot and all.
Huh? Paimon, did you drink my Fanta?
Was this your drink? Sorry about that. Paimon wasn't really paying attention and the cup was right next to Paimon. Would you like to order another?
No, it's fine. We're just about done here.
Alright. Honestly, Paimon wouldn't recommend Fanta anyway. It tastes kinda salty and icky.
I'd have to agree. My drink also tasted that way too.
Is that so? Huh. Well, in that case, we'll have to blacklist the Fanta here then. If we're all finished eating, then I'll go pay.
Yeah, we're stuffed. Thanks for the treat, Navia.
Loading.
Oh, so full. Paimon can barely float anymore.
You could try floating a little lower.
Can't you see Paimon's barely an inch off the ground?
Okay. As for expenses this month, we're left with...
Oh, Deanna, are you saying it's salty because of primordial seawater? Well, if they did that, I think Navia would be dissolved. So no, I don't think it's primordial seawater. If I'm correct, I believe Fanta may be a play on Fanta. Because there are Fanta vending machines around Fontaine.
Hey, Navia! What are you doing over there?
Oh, nothing. It was just a meal, you know? Nothing the Spina di Rosula can't cover.
Seems that was pretty tough for her.
Let's get ready to try to meet the Hydro Archon again. Bye, Navia!
So this is goodbye, huh? Well, if you do encounter any other trouble in Fontaine, you're always welcome to contact the Spina di Rosula. I'll give your requests the highest priority. In any case, I wish you smooth sailing. I'll see you again, partner.
See ya!
There it is. All right. How far away are we? Oh, we're very far away from. Okay.
There aren't many people around anymore. Looks like that boat we took to Araneas might have been the last one.
Vache.
Looks like we're back here again. Huh? Traveler? Are you hearing voices again?
Yes, and it's clearer than it was during the day.
Ugh. That's kind of spooky. Are you sure we don't want to come back in the morning?
Vache. Vache.
What does vache mean? I don't know my French, guys. It's a surname of French origin. Literally means cowherd or herdsman of cattle. Okay, so I guess it's a dude's name.
Hey, why are you still walking towards it? There might be something nasty in the water.
I can feel strong emotions.
Huh? Hang on. Paimon can kind of hear a voice. It's calling for Vache, right? Hey, traveler! Stop walking! Come on, wake up!
Where is
Vache,
this?
Are you my dear Vache? No, wait. You seem to be someone else. Do you know Vache? Do you know where my love is?
So for those of you who don't know what this creature is, we have encountered these creatures before in other parts of Tevat, this world. They are creatures who used to live in Fontaine that were driven out when the last Hydro Archon, the last Hydro god, died. So that's your backstory there. So we have encountered these creatures before. I'm afraid not.
Wait. Who am I? I'm very sorry. I fear I do not know.
Oh no.
My memories feel like they have been washed away like a flood. So many fragments dissolved amidst the tide, never to be recovered. How much have I lost? How many things that I once held dear while on land have I since forgotten?
You were once human?
Yes, that is what I was once. But now, I am but the consciousness of one who is lost, therefore.
You lost your form.
I do not know how I came to be like this either. I only vaguely remember being covered in light blue water, and then all grew dim.
Light blue water. Could that have been... Could she be one of the girls who were dissolved?
I also remember going to many places. I loved adventure, loved exploring places of peril.
Oh, wow. I did not see that coming.
No matter where I went, Vache would go with me. I knew how dearly he loved me, and I also loved him equally as much.
Dynasty Interactions, I hope you're having a lovely practice session, and I hope that we are providing some nice background noise for you. Yeah, I guess this is what happens when someone gets the primordial seawater thrown on them. I don't know. It never occurred to me because every other Oceanid that we have encountered have been Oceanids for like all of their lives. Like they started out as Oceanids.
But now, we can no longer go back. The pain of such parting. I never knew how heavy it could be.
So you need me to find him?
No. Our reunion no longer has any meaning. There is no way for us to create any new memories. The thought of me gives him no succor. So let it lie forgotten beneath the waters. If you meet Vache, tell him not to look for me. Tell him to move on. That is the only thing I still remember.
Oh my god. I believe it will be hard for him to forget you.
Perhaps that is so. As I was submerged in the waters, losing consciousness, I saw Vache above the surface. His eyes were filled with such sorrow, such longing. If only I could have comforted him, told him that I did not suffer. Indeed, I had felt a great warmth.
That means Vache was a witness to the fact that you dissolved?
Is that what you call it? Dissolving? If anything, I consider it a form of release. It was a state of neither fear nor frenzy, with only an endless peace, like the water's still surface. I could also liken it to being a thirsty person who drinks water for the first time, and only then sees how they have lived for so long in a world of endless want and anxiety.
It seems that after the body is dissolved, some measure of the consciousness still remains.
I think I hear your companion. It's time for you to go, I think.
Was that Paimon? Ah, right. I wonder how much time has passed in reality.
Farewell, then. I am glad that you were able to sense my presence. Remember, if you see Vache, tell him not to seek me out any longer.
Yeah, I wonder if he was her killer, too.
Wake up! Come on, hurry! Navia's outnumbered!
Oh, very cool.
Look out!
Dear God, it's a whole army of Gardamex.
Oh,
Chlorand?
so this new lady is apparently the
Quick, now's
duelist.
our chance!
Like, you can fight for your, like, instead of getting like a trial, you can fight to the death, and you fight against this lady. Oh, she's so cool. Oh, girl power. That's interesting.
I should thank you for lending us your sword there, Chlorand. But before I do so, could you explain how you managed to show up here?
By the way, if you guys are wondering what the heck is happening, I don't know. I am also in for the ride right now. Hey, Michael, how are you?
I followed you. It seemed to me that danger has followed you more closely as of late.
I believe that following someone without their knowledge is actually called stalking, is it not?
Mr. Callus's last wish was for me to ensure your safety, and I will not betray his trust. He would do the same, were he alive today.
Do not speak of my father!
Sorry, demoiselle. I was not strong enough.
Thank you for your aid, Miss Clorand, but do keep an eye out for your manner of speech. I believe we all wish to avoid unnecessary emotional harm.
Sorry, I did not consider your feelings.
Oh.
Whatever. What else do you know? How did you come to the conclusion that I'd be in grave danger?
I doubt I know much more than you, but I believe that the mastermind behind the serial disappearances is very powerful. Your performance tonight will almost certainly attract their attention.
I'm sure they've known about me. To be honest, I'm shocked it's taken them this long to act against me. And what about these Gardamex? I thought only those associated with the Maison Gardiennage could control them.
I think the Maison Gardiennage is the, their police system, basically. I think.
None of these mecha have serial numbers. I was sure to check a moment ago. They are not the ones used by the authorities to enforce the law. I can only conclude that some powerful or wealthy party must have obtained them via illegal means, deploying them as a private force of sorts.
What? Your point being that they're out of Spina di Rosula's league, then?
Yes. Be careful, and do not act rashly.
I will continue investigating no matter what. We will bring the truth to light. That's my father's true last wish.
Okay.
Regardless, thank you for your help today, Clorand. But if you get any ideas, tell me first. I don't much appreciate being followed.
Unit 5, I'm not sure. I did just do my Sparlobus yesterday. Because my husband told me that it was going to be reset soon. So yeah. Usually Asia is ahead of EU. I'm in on the American server. Yeah, so we're really behind.
I do not think that they'll strike again anytime soon. So I shall stop following you. Good day, all.
Am I pulling for Navia? No, I'm not. My husband is pulling for Navia. Yeah. Do you not see runs like Spiralobus runs on YouTube? I would expect that they're mostly on Twitch. It's just that my audience happens to be mostly here on YouTube. That's why I'm streaming here.
Right. I suppose that's the best news we've gotten today.
Demoiselle, I believe that Miss Clorand was being sincere with you. If we tried, we could attempt to thaw relations a little.
It was actually spoiled for me why Clorand and Navia don't get along, but we'll let the story reveal that.
I know, she's...
What just happened?
Oh, thank goodness! Paimon thought we were done for! Those Gardamex came out of nowhere while you were unconscious, and Nadia and her gang saved us! Oh, and there was that champion duelist named Clorand who came out to save us too! We got lucky there. Paimon probably couldn't have fought them off otherwise.
No, so you're a fighter now, Paimon?
Oh, come now. Forget all that polite talk. That wasn't really a farewell meal we had back there. Not for me, anyway. In truth, I hope that every meal we have together shall be a victory feast.
Yes, happy holidays to you too, Deanna. Happy New Year, and have a good night. Thank you so much for joining us for a little bit. Michael, I just saw that you went back to your high school and did a little Christmas performance. That is so sweet. I hope you had a great time. Yeah.
As such, we're still partners. There's no need to thank me.
It will take 50 years for me to match Demoiselle's magnanimity.
If it were me, I would have joined the Spina di Rosula on account of her goodwill long ago.
All right, you two. That's enough.
Actually, Navia, how did you know that we were in danger? You sure did show up in the nick of time.
Well, to be honest, you're the one who tipped us off, Paimon.
Huh? Really? Paimon contributed somehow? Ooh, Paimon's even more amazing than she thought!
Hey, this is totally like the game being self-aware. Because Paimon is basically just the voice of the traveler. That's all she does.
Yes. All thanks to you grabbing my drink by mistake.
How did that help?
After we parted ways, I was on the way back to one of our bases when I suddenly thought of what you said. That the Fanta tasted kind of salty and icky.
Wait, do you mean that I thought it tasted strange as well, but I couldn't be sure.
Fanta only comes in sweet flavors. So how could it have tasted salty? The color of the drink, if I recall, had also been a bit off.
So the Fanta had been spiked with water from the primordial sea?
Deanna, I know you just left, but if you catch up with this later, apparently you were right?
Yes. So, if you hadn't drunk that cup for me...
Spina di Rosula is preparing the grandest of awards for you as we speak for saving the boss.
Oh my god, Deanna was right. Deanna was right.
Huh. Really?
Fortunately, Paimon, neither of us are from Fontaine.
I sent people to Hotel de Boer to investigate. But whoever did this left no trace at all. That's when I figured out that you might be in danger and hurried here as quickly as I could.
But why would they go after us too? All we did was defend Linny in court and help clear his name. Ugh, now we're caught up in this mess too, aren't we?
I wonder if drinking the primordial seawater actually allowed the traveler to talk to that Oceanid question mark.
Well, you did foil a plan that they were probably pretty proud of, and almost got their name in the process. Speaking of which, did anything strange happen when you drank the primordial seawater?
Okay.
Well, it can't be a coincidence that the traveler fainted just now. He said that he heard that voice calling for Vache again. Oh, and this time Paimon heard it too, but it was real faint. Does this situation have to do with the primordial seawater then?
According to Lynette, the ability to hear voices like that has to do with one's sensitivity to the hydro element.
Does that mean the primordial seawater raises someone's sensitivity to hydro when it's used on people who are not from Fontaine?
That doesn't sound like too much of a bad thing, to be honest.
I also gained some new intel.
New intel? While you were out cold?
Well, let's hear it, shall we?
The voice in the fountain belonged to one of the missing women. A person named Vache was a witness when she dissolved.
Oh, that is important.
You tell everyone about what happened when you were
Vache.
connected.
That name doesn't ring a bell. I suppose he hasn't stepped forward as a witness in court lately. Since he saw that young woman dissolve, he was at least at the crime scene. But he never gave testimony or any information regarding people dissolving in the primordial seawater. Could he have been threatened?
If he's still alive, we should try searching for him.
Yes, thank you. This is very important information indeed. We will continue to investigate.
All right, partner.
Oh, you mean you'll help us investigate?
Well, you did say that our farewell meal didn't really count. That means we're still partners, right? And besides, we're in this now whether we like it or not. You're not gonna let those people who targeted us get off the hook so easily, are you, Traveler?
Messing with us will cost them.
Demoiselle, do try not to look quite so pleased. You are the face of Spina di Rosula, after all.
Face?
You talk too much. Well, in that case, let's head back to one of our bases, shall we? I'll arrange accommodations for you. We also have some plans to go over, and hopefully we can deepen our bonds as partners. But we'll take that one step at a time, I guess.
Don't worry, you two. With us around, our base is definitely secure.
I love her lackeys. Oh, Kate. I apparently finished one section of this. Or, that is, I connected with the Oceanid's consciousness. Okay. Where are we going? You want a bass flute, Michael? Do you have an idea of what brand of bass flute you would like?
It's right up ahead, but let's make sure we weren't followed first.
I've been keeping watch, Demoiselle. I haven't spotted anyone suspicious thus far.
I
Very
love
good.
their
But
sunglasses.
let's not let our guard down for now.
I shall find rooms for our respected guests.
Thank you, Malus. Now, let's continue, traveler.
All right. Oh, I haven't been here since like the beginning of Fontaine. I mean, I suppose I could, you know, climb down. But who has time for that? Absolutely no one has time for that. We're just going to very dangerously fall down and down. Ah, yes. Safe landing. So we are in basically the underground. Hmm? Am I going in the correct direction? Oh, I totally could have warped here. Oh well. Alright. You know, we're gonna walk there like a normal person after we just very, very normally jump down. A Guo gray bass flute. They are good ones.
This is your base? It's not quite what Paimon imagined.
Your accommodations have been arranged. Under the present circumstances, I can confidently say it's the best we have.
Thank you.
Well, our funds have been a little tight lately. After all, we don't allow illegal or unethical profiteering. In fact, our funds often come from citizenry who support us.
Seems like it's tough times for everyone. But if you have the support of the people, that does sound like it's worth it.
To be honest, our financial situation was a lot better back when my father was in charge a few years ago. I'm afraid I'm not quite his equal.
Your father... He was the previous boss of Spina di Rosula, right? How did he...
Demoiselle, if you'll allow me to explain.
No. I'll explain it myself. I suppose I couldn't run from this topic forever. And as partners, this is something I hope they can understand. My father's name is Callus. Yes, the same one they call Callus the Unfaithful in the streets. 3 years ago, he was accused of murdering his own friend. But he chose a duel to defend his honor instead of standing trial. He died in the duelist's ring.
There you go, guys.
Oh no.
But I do not believe my father was a murderer. I'm sure he was set up. At the time, I believed that if he only stood trial and was duly investigated, something amiss would crop up and prove his innocence. But strangely, he not only requested the duel himself, but rumor has it that even after being seriously injured, to the point where he could be deemed as having lost the duel, he refused to surrender, determined to die in the arena.
Oh, dang.
3 years later, I still don't understand why he did that. How could he protect his honor if he's dead? If anything, he gave up his chance to defend himself.
Do you have any clues as to why?
The closest piece of info I have is that my father had been investigating the serial disappearances case at the time of his death.
so determined to get to the bottom of that case?
I wonder if it was like a trade. Trading his life for Navia. Because Navia just now was almost dissolved.
That's right. I've also tried to investigate the murder my father was implicated in. But I haven't found a single new clue in my countless reviews of the investigation records. However, I believe that if the murder case is related to those behind the disappearances, they must know something. I must know what really happened. Was my father coerced? Framed? Even if he really did kill his friend, I must get to the truth. If only he'd been more open with me when he was still alive. He even hid the fact that my mother died due to complications when giving birth to me.
Oh.
And now, here I am investigating his death. You really are a handful, aren't you, Papa?
Seeking the truth for the sake of your family. You know, we're quite alike in this regard.
Demoiselle, please, if there is anything I can do, anything at all.
I also will never believe that Master Callus murdered anyone. There are none whom I respect more than the two of you, Demoiselle. Master Callus did so much good in life, yet all it took was one murder case for him to be dubbed Callus the Unfaithful. Even our supporters decreased greatly due to that incident, hence our strained finances at present.
Wait, if Callus was such a good man, wouldn't people at least be a little suspicious when he was accused?
No. Perhaps people just revel in that kind of drama. It's not something exclusive to people from Fontaine, really. Everyone's like that.
Well, that's a little too true, don't you guys think?
People love watching the evil turn over a new leaf, but they also enjoy watching good people fall into an abyss from one slip-up just as much.
Daniel, hello. It's okay. It's also been way more than a month for me to get to these game live streams. Welcome. How are you doing, Daniel?
But how could... never mind. If Callus was really falsely accused, we have to find the truth. He didn't deserve to have that happen to him.
There is one other thing. Master Callus's opponent in the duel was Ms. Clorand.
There it is. There it is.
Oh, her? Well, then, isn't that as good as saying that she was the one who killed him?
I'm doing well. I'm doing better than I have been. And it's just that there have been some things that happen, namely some emergency home repairs that have caused a little bit of grief lately, but that is resolving, and so we're just kind of breathing a sigh of relief, and yeah, so you know, that's why I haven't been on stream. I had planned to be on stream a little sooner than this, but, you know, life throws you curveballs, right? So that was probably the main thing that has happened, but I think all in all, I've really, like, I think I'll make another video about this in the future, but lately it's been really awesome to realize that I'm doing exactly what I want. You know, that my life is the way that I've always wanted it to be. And it's been a little bit weird to stop chasing, and to just be happy, you know? And it's weird and wonderful at the same time. So that's how I've been. Hope you've also been doing well. What have you been up to? All right. No wonder the mood was a little strange between the two of you.
Yeah, that's not the sort of thing that you can just let go and move on from.
Miss Clorand has always placed great emphasis on the honorable nature of the duel. If her opponent doesn't yield, she will not stop either.
Thank you, Michael.
She knew Master Callus beforehand and greatly respected him, but seeing how he was resolute in the arena, there was only ever one choice she could have made.
It's not that I don't understand her at all, but I just can't deal with this yet.
I agree, Daniel. There's really nothing you can do about curveballs. They happen, and you gotta deal with them, you know? Dodge and catch them.
Don't worry, Navia. Paimon knows how you feel. You don't have to force yourself to do that.
Afterward, Miss Clorand told us that at the start of the duel, Master Callus requested that she ensure Demoiselle Navia's safety.
Then that indicates that he intended to die in that duel.
Yes, that is our understanding as well.
Oh, Papa. What madness drove you to ask the person who killed you to take care of me? All right, anyway, that's the information I wanted to share with you. Even if it did sound like I was just complaining towards the end.
Oh, it's all right. I understand how important this is to you.
Thanks. You two should go and rest. This was quite a day after all.
Yeah. Paimon's beat.
Please, relax and get some sleep. We will ensure you rest soundly.
All right. Hi, Chris. I am not a criminal yet. We ain't in Maripede yet.
Whether it be responsibility for Spina di Rosula or Master Callus's death, it all landed on Demoiselle's shoulders so suddenly. This won't do. I must become stronger.
These dudes are great. These dudes are fantastic. Fantastic. I just want to check out this area here. This is really, really cute. Can you solve any problem? Theoretically, I do not believe there is any problem that can only be solved by force. When we of the Spina di Rosula act, I am certain that we'll be able to resolve your issue with minimal harm. For things as small as living supplies and household affairs to matters as large as factional disputes and savings, the Spina will do all it can for you. Thanks, bro. Anyway, gonna go sleep. What did you rename your flute?
Paimon slept so well. This place feels almost too safe. Huh? Navia? Where did the other two go?
I sent them back to Poisson. It's Spina di
To
Rosula's
fish.
place of origin, and where we have our headquarters. There's not much for them to do here at the moment.
I sent them back to fish.
Paimon gets the feeling that you're just trying to get them off your back. But never mind that. When did you get back? Were you waiting here the whole time?
No, I just returned after going out for a while. I did some investigating yesterday regarding the name Vacher.
Wait, so you didn't sleep at all?
How could I after having such critical new evidence appear?
Guess Paimon wasn't speaking for everyone just now, huh?
Laters and Sphered. You renamed your flute Revamped? That's awesome. That's a cool name.
Unfortunately, this name seems to have been wiped from existence. It doesn't seem to have a match anywhere.
Can you change the way your character looks? You're probably noticing that his accents are blue now, and that is because he has what's the word? What's the word? Like, he can take control of hydro, like the water element now, hence everything is blue. So the accents on his outfit will match whatever element he's wielding. I'm having a major brain fart right now. I can't remember what the word is. To like, it's not, what is it? We'll go find out what that word is after this. All right, so the name Vache has seemed to be wiped from existence.
I suspect that those behind this have already taken steps to hinder an investigation from this angle. But that does prove that this Vache person is a key witness in the incident.
Does that mean we're too late, though?
No. There is one ray of hope. One place in Fontaine that they would find almost impossible to threaten, no matter how much they wanted to. And that is the archives kept by Chief Justice Neuvillette. A place where detailed files on all the cases in recent years are kept. If the Oceanid you met is one of the young women who went missing recently, we should be able to find some related information there.
So Neuvillette maintains an archive of case files? Whew. Guess that's the hard-working Chief Justice for you. In that case, let's go talk to him, shall we? Aren't you coming along, Navia? Did you get tired?
No, it's nothing. Let's go see the Honorable Chief Justice.
What's going on between her and Neuvillette? This guy, this beautiful guy. All right, learned about Navia's father. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go meet myself.
The palais is right up ahead. Come on.
Please state your business here. The Chief Justice is presently occupied with official matters.
Oh, that music. It's so good. Very Baroque. Oh.
Huh. This place does look pretty heavily guarded. Guess that proves that Neuvillette's files are really secure.
That's awesome, Michael.
Hey, don't you recognize us?
Huh? Who are you? Just to be clear, I don't care who you are or who you might be related to. Our rules make no exceptions.
So cute.
See? They've got great discipline, too.
Yep. Paimon can tell. If you're here just to crack jokes, I can point you towards the exit. Unlike some, we're busy. So please leave if you don't have a reason to be here.
No. What I meant to say is, shouldn't you remember us from a few days ago? We were at the trial of the great magician Linny.
Oh, yes, I remember. I read about it in the Steambird. You must be Linny's attorneys. It's all coming back to me now.
We're here today to report and archive some information on a follow-up case.
I didn't realize, but the Melusines have like little wings in the back. I never knew that.
Huh. Is that even a thing?
Of course. Don't worry. We're here on official business. You can trust us.
Yes, these are real instruments. Like what you hear in the background, these are acoustic instruments. They this is why I love Genshin music, because like the quality of the music is just, it's so good and it matches exactly like the place that you're in. And we are in basically fantasy France, so it does kind of make sense to have, you know, Western classical music playing. So it's, makes me very happy.
All right then, I'll let you through. The Chief Justice is just inside.
Thanks so much.
And just like that, we're in. Time to meet myself.
Please come in.
Ah, look, there's me.
Sorry to barge in, Monsieur Nervalet. We only lied to get in because we didn't know any other way.
Paimon, please. Also, did you guys hear a bit of harpsichord in the music too? Oh, so good.
It's all right. Please let me know how I may be of assistance to you.
Oh, damn, his voice is so nice.
So you're not mad at us?
We're looking for a man called Vacher. He may have been an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. If we can find him, we may be able to unearth some key information on the case.
Ah, I see. In that case, please wait here a moment while I browse through the files.
He's so pretty.
Who knew that Nervalet would be so easy to talk to?
Come on. Oh my gosh, they're actually making me wait. Oh. Okay, I can't actually press. Okay.
Unfortunately, I'm quite certain that no one by the name of Vacher has been involved in any case, criminal or civil, in the past several years. There are no records of him either in the files or in my memory.
So that's that. So we're back to square one.
Traveler, what if it was really just a dream?
Is that so? All right then. Thank you so much, Monsieur Neuvillette. We'll take our leave now.
Ahem. Miss Navia, I can understand how you feel.
Oh my god.
Your father, Callus, was a truly exceptional man. We deeply regret his passing.
And what are you trying to say, Monsieur Neuvillette?
Oh, right, because he presides over the trials. That's why she doesn't want to see him. I get it.
Are you trying to console me? Extend your sympathy? Or just express some tendril of regret? No. You are not trying to do any of that. I can hear it in your voice. There's no emotion behind your words. You only said those things because you felt like you should.
Oh.
It's just like last time. After my father took his place in the duelist ring, I pushed through the guards to talk to you as a last resort. You even told me then that you thought there was something fishy with the case, yet you still allowed the duel to go ahead. In your eyes, the value of a human life is nothing compared to those cold laws you hold so dear.
Oh dang. She's dropping some bombs right now.
If you truly regret my father's death, then why didn't you call a stop to the duel?
Genshin is actually cross-platform. So, if you have a PS4 or PS5, you can play. PC, obviously. Play it on your phone. You know, so, yeah, you don't have to play on PC. It's just that I do find that the experience is very, very nice on PC. So, yeah.
Why didn't you give me the power to stop him from throwing his life away? Why did you just let him die? Despised and hated by all.
Oh no.
Everything was hanging on a thread at that moment. Just the tiniest effort could have changed everything. There are still so many things I never got to tell him. So many questions he still owes me answers to. If you really have no heart, then just look me in the eyes. I, Navia, will show you the true meaning of regret.
I'm sorry, Miss Navia.
You and my father are truly alike. You keep all kinds of things in your heart and never say a word to anyone. It's not so much that you can't feel, but that you would never express anything. Oh well. In any case, everyone already knows full well the apathy of the Chief Justice. My apologies for taking my emotions out on you, Monsieur Chief Justice. Let's go, Traveler and Paimon.
Whoa. Yo, this just feels bad on every side.
Navia, are you okay?
I'm fine. Rain. It's raining.
Oh. All right, this bit was spoiled for me too. The weather in Fontaine does have to do with how Neuvillette feels.
You're right. Wasn't it still sunny when we went into the building? And there shouldn't be any active trials today. How strange.
Now that I think of it, on the day my father was convicted of murder, it was also raining.
Rain.
What is it? Did you think of something?
Your father's case, was he outside when it happened?
Yeah, he was outside. It was uncovered and the rain could fall there. Why? Do you think the rain could have affected the crime scene? That thought has occurred to us before. We've even expanded the search area to try to account for that, but didn't find anything of value.
But there was something you didn't know at the time.
Oh? Wait. You don't mean...
The fact that people can be turned into water.
So you're saying that the true murderer could have been turned into water? And then got washed away with the rain? Yeah. And if that's what had happened, then no one would have believed your dad, even if he explained what he saw to the authorities.
I really think I found a true genius for a partner. You're completely right. How did I not connect the dots earlier? All right, let's go to Poisson. With this new lead in mind, we'll get to the bottom of my father's case for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna make progress for sure this time.
Do you want to go with me now? Or do you want to head over by yourself later?
We should go while the idea is still fresh.
Great. Let's go then.
Oh, that's so sad. Oh my god, everything is sad. Hoyoverse, why do you keep doing this?
Whoa, what a huge ship! Why would a ship be anchored at a place like this?
There's no need to be so surprised. Well, my father was
Whoops.
the one who asked for it to be built like this. Perhaps our taste in exterior design is the only thing we occasionally had in common. A gigantic and glamorous ship embodies discovery, opportunity, ambition, and conquest. It symbolizes Spina di Rosula's bright and limitless future.
I think I'm starting to get why you like it.
And Paimon thought you were bluffing when you said Spina di Rosula had a glorious past. Paimon was confused why a group with such a history would live in the sewers. But now that Paimon has seen this ship for herself, she's been convinced.
Well, Poisson is where Spina di Rosula began, after all. It's our main base, our home.
Love the music here. Little details. How your feet sound different on different surfaces.
we're back!
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle, and our most important partners. You said before that you still had some business at the court. What brings you back to Poisson so quickly?
It is true, Daniel. This game does work, in my opinion, a lot better on PC. I do play on my phone if I have to. So if I'm traveling or something like that, I will play on my phone just so I don't have to bring my entire like huge gaming laptop with me. Yeah. So, but it is a really lovely experience on the PC.
About that. It's because my partner here reminded me of something really important. You see, what if my father's case had something to do with water from the primordial sea? You still remember, right, Malus? On that night, it was raining?
Yes, the case was quite similar to that of Mr. Linney's. Both were what you'd call impossible murders.
Could the mastermind be the same person?
Could you tell us a bit more about what happened before?
Yeah, of course. Many years ago, something called synth began to gain popularity in Poisson. At a glance, it was a kind of drink that could excite your mood and produce many pleasant hallucinations.
Was there like a drop of primordial seawater in there?
Wait! Didn't that guard guy who turned into water also mention that the primordial water could be used to produce some kind of potion?
Yes, he did. Considering what we know now, it's almost certain that synth is created using water from the primordial sea.
There we go. Have a wonderful time, Michael. Happy holidays. Happy New Year.
If you drink synth for an extended amount of time, you'll suffer many side effects, such as losing the ability to focus or control your emotions. And if you were to stop drinking it completely, you'll experience flashes of paranoia and anxiety while lacking energy to do anything. It's an extremely dangerous substance.
It just straight up sounds like substance abuse.
As he oversaw Poisson, my father was compelled to put a stop to synth abuse and called for a complete ban of it.
Boss's uncompromising attitude incurred the synth vendor's wrath, but no matter how much they threatened or bribed him, he refused to yield.
This is sounding more and more like they killed someone and framed him for it.
Not only that, Boss became determined to find the mastermind behind the synth operation and put an end to the problem once and for all.
Yes, but the enemy was very cunning. So he could never get anything out of the dealers, all of whom only sold the stuff and weren't privy to the rest of the operation. Recognizing that, my father decided to contact the dealers in secret and cultivate personal relationships with them. Finally, he was able to convince someone to become his informant. The man's name was Jacques. He felt greatly ashamed about his work after seeing many families destroyed by synth abuse. That night, my father hosted a banquet at his countryside estate. He planned to meet up and exchange information with Jacques over some food. But then, we heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. We raced to the scene and found my father, still holding a gun, and Jacques, who was already dead on the ground.
Huh? How did that happen? Aren't they on the same side?
Sounds just like Lenny's case, doesn't it? In both cases, the culprit seemed obvious, but neither appeared to have any motive at all. Looking back on it, though, I now believe the most important clue was something we all overlooked at the time. There were pieces of clothing left at the scene.
So they could have belonged to someone who got dissolved?
Precisely. It's all thanks to you that I made the connection now. Back then, we all just thought they were some costumes that Jacques used to disguise himself at the banquet. But, considering it now, it's almost certain that they belong to a third person at the scene. With one extra person, we'll also need to reconsider why the 2 shots were fired.
It's also possible that the third person was to blame.
You're right. We still don't know what happened. But my intuition tells me that we're on the right track to figuring it all out. I'm finally headed towards the truth.
Jacques was an empathetic man who was infinitely remorseful for his past actions. It's unlikely that he turned on Boss with 0 warning. I think this third person is probably the key to the full truth. On that note, however, even though this will not please you, demoiselle, as your and your father's butler, I must still offer a word of warning. Our opponent is insidious and cruel. They are extremely difficult to deal with, and Boss has already lost his life trying to bring them to justice. Even though Spina de Rosula has lost most of its former glory, Poisson has welcomed a new time of peace, and we have been allowed to live out our lives. There is no need to follow your father's path. It would be both wise and in line with Boss's wishes to step back and give up on the case.
If that's indeed what he wished for, then he should have told me that himself. Was I not the closest person to him? And yet, I was the one most kept in the dark.
I'm getting a little sus of her lackeys now. I'm just getting a little sus.
What was the point of him dying without sharing any of the secrets he knew? Did he manage to protect anything in the end? Synth is still here. Callus the Unfaithful is still his epithet. And Spina di Rosula is barely getting by. Nothing has changed. Did he think I'd just accept his meaningless death and live out my life just as meaninglessly? I've never accepted that. Ever. Not since that day, and certainly not now. I want to find out the real answer for everyone's sake. For the missing girls, for the victims, and for myself.
Navia.
This is indeed the best moment to act. Your partner appears to be quite reliable, and more importantly, Demoiselle, I think you're also ready to take this on.
Wait, so now he's going back on his word?
So you do know something else, Malus.
Okay, yeah, okay. So I was right to be a little bit sus.
Yes, I do. In fact, even before that banquet, Boss already knew of the connection between Synth and the serial disappearances case. But what drove all the tensions to the boiling point was the revelation that you, Demoiselle, had been selected as the next target to disappear.
Yep. I think he traded his life.
What?
Boss also didn't tell you that he had been diagnosed with a rare illness. The doctors told him that he had no more than 5 years left to live.
He traded his life.
And the serial disappearances case caused him great anxiety. 5 years was nowhere near enough time to resolve this long-standing conflict. But once he passed away, all the danger would pass on to you. Knowing all of this, he decided to use one final intimidation tactic before his death. He claimed to have already gotten his hands on some key incriminating evidence for the other side, and even told some members of Spina de Rosula about the details. But as long as you remained safe, he would not share the evidence with the public. If something were to happen to you, then he and all those he told would immediately expose all they knew about Synth and the disappeared victims.
Right. So nobody would be able to get off scot-free.
As we've seen, Boss's tactic has worked. Even though Boss has been gone for a long time, the other side has not tried to take Demoiselle's life.
No, I don't believe it. He never appeared to look sick to me.
No father wants their daughter to see them weak and haggard, especially someone as proud as Boss.
My dad's the same.
To him, dying in a duel and suffering lasting dishonor as the unfaithful was still far preferable than losing face in front of his daughter.
Oh, give me a second, guys.
So he chose to die in silence, so that he could protect me.
I'm afraid you're not understanding this correctly, Demoiselle. What Boss wanted to hand to you was not a parasol, but a sword. If Boss's spirit could hear you telling me that you want to find the answer for the sake of everyone involved, I'm sure he'd be extremely proud.
That fool. Couldn't he have just given it to me straight? No. He might have set up everything precisely because He never thought I'd be able to understand him. Is that the amount of confidence he had in me? And what if I was never able to make it to where I am now?
Gave you the choice to live how you want.
Yeah. I suppose that's true. With the way he'd set things up, if I had wanted, I could have just lived out my life without a care in the world. But thankfully, he rarely talked to me about complex matters, and thus understood little of me as a person. In this case, he really didn't need to give me an easy way out. Malus, what was the key evidence that he shared with you?
It's the location where synth is produced. Essentially, it's the enemy's headquarters. When he was threatening the enemy, Boss didn't share the specifics of the incriminating evidence he found. But if you want to use it against the enemy, you'll still have to take several things into consideration.
Why? If we know where the place is, can't we just go storming in?
You mustn't forget that we're fighting against a mysterious and dangerous organization that's been in operation for decades. There's no telling what might be lying in wait at their headquarters. We also have no idea what kind of evidence we may be able to find inside, nor what people we may be able to capture. But a single visit to their headquarters would be tantamount to a formal declaration of war. The worst case would be that we leave empty-handed, but also open ourselves up to full retaliation.
This is like straight up like mafia stuff now. Like straight up straight up Yakuza like stuff.
Then, in that case, why not work with the Fontaine authorities?
Well, you saw one of them dissolve during Mr. Linney's case. We have no idea just how thoroughly they may have been infiltrated.
Huh. That's true. Seems my father really had no choice. But things are different now. It should be a lot easier to prove the other side's guilt, now that we've connected Synth with the disappearances case.
You sound like you've put a lot of thought into this, Malus.
I am the butler, after all. I live but to serve the boss and Demoiselle's will. I've always been willing to take on any kind of risk for your sake. But considering my relative lack of ability, I've spent my time keeping secrets, performing basic investigations, and waiting for the right time to come.
Thank you for all of that, Malus. Have you discovered anything new in the past few years?
Let me think. One conclusion I came to is that the enemy must be quite familiar with Spina di Rosula, or at least have an informant planted here. When I announced orders to the organization's members on Demoiselle's behalf, I used to deliberately keep a few people in the dark and observe the reactions of the synth vendors. If the vendors didn't change their plans, then the individuals informed of our orders must be innocent. If the vendors packed up and fled, however, then someone must have given them the news. After several rounds of testing and investigative tracing, I've narrowed the suspect list down to 3 people. The first is Florent, Spina di Rosula's senior advisor.
Oh, so they've been infiltrated.
Huh? Florent?
Yes, surprising, isn't it? He was one of the people Boss trusted the most, which also means that he was someone who understood Boss really well. Thanks to his position within Boss's innermost circle, he always knew our upcoming plans and could thus avoid capture this whole time. There's someone else like him too. Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières.
Uncle Marcel.
What is this confrère?
It's a guild in Poisson. Boss helped it to grow to its current size and prominence. In the beginning, they were only reselling some daily goods, but now they're one of the richest guilds around, with a lot of business connections in the city.
So, they're like a sister organization of Spina di Rosula?
Yes, you can say that. When we were fighting against the synth dealers, they provided us with plenty of support. It's a bit difficult to imagine someone using their own money to hunt down themselves.
The final suspect is Thierry, the man responsible for coordinating information between Spina di Rosula and the guards. Although the guards mostly leave us to our own devices, there are still many activities we have to report to the local authorities. Since Thierry is always in the know about our current activities, he could theoretically always plan one step ahead.
I see. These are all people who I communicate with quite regularly. To think that the enemy we've been fighting against has been right next to me all along, among those I trust the most. It's almost too hard to believe.
If you want to investigate them, please take every precaution to not alert the quarry.
Sounds good.
Judging from our experience, the enemy is extremely cautious.
No worries on the babbling. Thank you so much for joining the stream and making the chat quite lively. Hope you have a really good rest of your day. Get those work emails done and get some rest, all right? Have a great night. Have a great night.
Of course. And thank you, Malus. You've provided us with a lot of great information.
You're too kind, my lady. I'm just doing my duty.
I'm still a little sus of Malus. Just I'm still a little sus. If he has all this information now, you know what I mean? Then, like, couldn't he also be one of the suspects?
And before I forget, proving Boss's innocence would also mean clearing him of blame in Jacques' death. After that incident, Jacques' wife and daughter were taken into the Spina's care. They still live in Poisson today. If it might help, you could also pay them a visit. I can make the necessary arrangements.
Oh, thank you so much, Malus. You really are the best.
A new case awaits, my dear partner.
Leave it to me.
I hope we can work together to uncover the truth and end this case once and for all.
All right, here we go. So Callus's case records. 3 years ago on a rainy night, banquet goers heard 2 gunshots outside the house. When they reached the scene, Callus had a gun in his hands, and Jacques had been shot and slain. Based on the investigations done then, there was no possibility that anyone else could have done the deed and escaped, and Callus was thus adjudged to have been the culprit. All right, checking the time. Using our unconventional methods to get to the next location. Alright, just gotta check this, guys. Awesome.
It is settled, then. Please excuse me, and enjoy your conversation at your leisure.
Thank you for arranging everything for us, Malus.
Excuse me, miss. Do you need anything from us?
Oh, look at the kid pouting.
Hey, Navia's all quiet. This isn't like her at all.
Let's not bother her for now.
I'm sorry that I only came to visit after all this time. After what happened, I didn't know how I was supposed to face the two of you.
Ah, if it's about that, there's no need to apologize. After my husband died, Spina di Rosula sent us a lot of mura and support. I understood your guilt and apology to be genuine.
But aren't all of those things nothing compared to the loss of Jacques? I can understand the kind of pain that comes with losing a father so needlessly.
You don't understand at all.
I didn't know how to face you, because I didn't know what I could possibly bring as a consolation gift. I know only the full truth could bring closure to you. And to all of us.
I'm sorry. I appreciate the sentiment, but you don't have to carry all that guilt. On the matter regarding my husband, my daughter and I have more or less found our answer already.
Would you mind sharing it with me? I really can't believe that my father could ever bring himself to shoot Jacques.
Oh, John got to the end of this act quicker than me.
I always knew that my husband's money was earned through others' suffering. He told me countless
Or,
times
I
that
think
if
he
he
said in
could
the
turn
next
back the
act.
clock, he would never go into the synth business again. He had many regrets, and felt that he took the idea of providing for his family too literally. For the longest time, he thought Mora was everything. So when Mr. Callus came to him with a proposal, he accepted it almost immediately. He tried to be as careful as he could, but even so, he was still found out by the higher-ups.
They found out about his betrayal?
Oh.
Papa didn't say that exactly, but Papa did tell me that I should never be ungrateful.
Before he left that day, he told me that he had no choice. It was only later that I realized it was his final farewell to the two of us.
Wait, does that mean someone ordered Jacques to take out Callus?
I don't know that for sure, but you could say that's the conclusion I eventually came to. Which is why I'm the one who should feel guilty. Callus had always taken great care of us, both when he was still alive and after he passed away. Even if he fired the shot that killed my husband, it was likely in self-defense. It is impossible for me to hate him for what he had done.
But Mama, why is Papa still the bad guy if he did the right thing? Papa always wanted to be a good man, so why did he have to do a bad thing in the end?
Well, things aren't always as they seem. You still feel like your papa was a good man, right?
Yeah, Papa was a really good man. The best in the whole world.
Then you should hold on to that. If a good man had to do a bad thing, then he must have had his reasons, regardless of whether he left you a parasol or a sword. He must have done so to give you a better life.
Oh.
Thank you for everything you've told me. I will definitely find the truth. The current state of things is not something I'm willing to just sit back and accept.
Thank you. I'm very grateful to hear this from you. Even though your personality is quite different from your father's, your determination when you speak is really similar.
You really think so? That's the first time anyone said that to me.
Okay, Jacques' family believes that he had struggled greatly with the order to kill Callus. Did Callus act in self-defense, or was there more to the incident? Oh my goodness, this
I'll
just
leave my
keeps getting
husband's case
crazier
to
and
you.
crazier.
Thank you, Miss Spina, and Miss Spina's friend.
Okay. All right.
Are you okay, Navia?
I'm fine. Don't worry. Let's investigate the 3 suspects next. Florent should be nearby, and we should be able to find Thierry and Uncle Marcel in the city. I'll get myself together on the way, so please don't worry.
Just casually take a little bit of Mora.
Greetings, boss. How may I be of assistance today?
I'm sure you've heard about what happened at the Opera House. Someone got turned into water right in front of us.
Yeah, I've heard. With something that dramatic, I'm sure journalists will milk it for all it's worth. And it'll be all the talk for the next several weeks.
It also reminded me, on the day that the incident happened with my father, it was raining outside, and we found some clothes left at the scene. After my partner here put the dots together for me, I feel like we should try to reopen his case. Can you do me a favor and try to recall what happened that night?
Let me think. Mr. Callus was feeling pretty upbeat that day. So he was drinking and bantering away with us at the table. After that, he told us that he wanted to go get some fresh air. So we let him go without thinking much of it. Who knew that we would hear 2 gunshots ring out right after? My first reaction was that Mr. Callus's life was in danger. So I grabbed my holster and made a mad dash toward the scene. But when I got there, it was already too late. Mr. Callus was standing over a dead body with a gun in his hands. All we could do was look back and forth at each other, not knowing what to say.
So you also remember 2 gunshots then?
Indeed. The guard said that the first shot didn't hit anyone, while the second killed Jacques. But I've never really bought that explanation. Reason being, Mr. Callus had left his gun on the table. I even made sure to confirm that before running to the scene. But according to the guards, that doesn't mean he couldn't have had other guns on his person. About the clothes left at the scene that you mentioned, do you think there was a third person there who was turned into water?
It's very possible.
At least from our perspective, my father had no reason to kill. So he would also have no reason to bring an extra gun with him. The gun he was holding probably belonged to Jacques, or a third person on the scene.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you're saying Mr. Callus ended up with the gun because he seized it from one of the other guys? But hold on. If that's what had happened, then why didn't he share the truth with any of us? He didn't even want to face the Oratrice machine, and chose instead to prove his honor in a duel. Did he lose all faith in the courts after seeing someone dissolve right in front of his eyes?
About that, Malus told me a thing or two. So, I think I can understand why he committed to the duel. I'll tell you everything, once the whole truth has been revealed.
I understand. Then, I'll leave Mr. Callus's honor in your hands, boss. And if I may just say one more thing. The whole Callus the Unfaithful epithet has been a thorn in my side since the day it was invented. Many people have laughed at me for still calling him Mr. Callus, even after so many years have passed. But it was Mr. Callus's trust that allowed me to rise through the ranks of Spina di Rosula and live the life I lead today, no matter what others might say. He'll always be the man I respect the most. And he'll always be my boss.
Don't worry. I will definitely find the truth.
So he's not actually super sus?
You and all our other comrades at the Spina deserve to know the truth as well.
Okay, information regarding Florent. Florent, the advisor to Spina di Rosula, claimed that he was very grateful to Callus for his kindness. He was also present at the banquet on the day of the case and can provide evidence that Callus did not carry a gun with him when he went out. Okay.
My apologies, boss, for that last sentimental bit. It's just... many years have passed while I've held my tongue. It's not often that I get to share my true feelings with others.
Alright.
Hey, Thierry! It's me!
Oh, now, what brings you here, Miss Navia? I've heard that you made quite the name for yourself at the Opera House.
Oh, so you've got news of that already.
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm also a member of the Guards, you know. The way you make it sound, people would think I was sent off to Poisson because I had done something wrong.
Are you sure there isn't a little bit of truth in that? Under normal circumstances, shouldn't you have been called back to the city already?
I freaking love the music here.
I mean, where I work is really up to me. Let's just say I enjoy the ambiance of Poisson. Callus did a fantastic job running the town, building Spina di Rosula from the ground up and clearing many obstructions in my way. It would be next to impossible for me to find a similarly easy but high-paying job in the city. Anyway, enough chit-chat. Are these two friends of yours? You, here for some formal business?
Yes. These two are my partners. What happened at the Opera House made us realize that Linny's case and my father's may be related. We're trying to reinvestigate the details of my father's old case.
Ah, I get it. You think there might be more to the case now that we know people can be dissolved into water, right? I was also flabbergasted when I first heard of it. If you want to go through the original files from your father's case, I can help you look for them.
That'd be much appreciated. Thank you. Actually, I have another question. Do you have the authority to dispatch Gardamex?
Of course. Without them, I couldn't possibly handle Poisson on my own. Why do you ask? We definitely can't use them to forcefully get more evidence for your father's case.
Well, you see, just recently, we were attacked by a horde of unnumbered Gardamex in the city. So, if you hypothetically wanted to do something against me, all you would need to do is get rid of the mecha serial numbers and send them after me.
Then you think too highly of my abilities. Dispatching mecha is very different from controlling them. If I had to make an analogy, when you order a dish, the chef will make it for you. You can ask the chef to cook, but not to massage your shoulders or carry your baggage. If you try to make unreasonable demands, the chef would just think you're out of your mind and ignore you completely. The same goes for me and my Gardamex. Removing a serial number is also not as easy as you might think. There are a lot of complex steps to it, and it's almost impossible to keep it a secret. So I can promise you, those mecha were definitely private units. They're certainly not cheap. So whoever their owner is must be super rich, powerful, or both. Now that you mention it, though, being in the synth business would definitely be profitable enough to afford this.
Makes sense.
Oh, then you're officially in the clear, Thierry.
Oh, well, thank you for the vote of confidence, Navia. Jokes aside, I'd like to wish you all the best with your investigation. I'll be staying in the city for a little while, so just come find me if you need any support from the guards.
Okay. Information regarding Thierry. Thierry is the person responsible for official contact between the Spina di Rosula and the guards. According to him, only the sufficiently rich can privately own large numbers of Gardamex.
I'll see what I can do for you in Spina di Rosula when it comes to guard stuff, but don't go advertising it to everyone else.
Hello. How may I help you? I'm here to see Marcel. Could you please let him know? You can just say Navia's looking for him.
Sure. I will let him know right away.
Navia, hello. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm not as young as I used to be, so my legs are giving out a bit.
Oh, it's all right, Uncle Marcel. There's no need to stress. I just wanted to talk to you briefly about what happened in the Opera House. I'm sure you saw everything too, right?
Yes, I've never seen anything so strange.
Oh, you were at the Opera House too?
That's right. I went there with Navia to see the magic show. Who knew it would turn into a whole murder mystery? I also witnessed your marvelous sleuthing work. Quite impressive. To beat the Hydro Archon at her own game on her own turf, I can already imagine everyone in Fontaine discussing your exploits over a few glasses of wine.
Oh, Paimon doesn't want to become the talk of drunkards.
Apologies. It's just how Fontaine is as a nation. Everyone loves drama and theatrics.
Uncle Marcel, you've also noticed that other thing, right? The fact that humans can dissolve in water?
Yes. I was reminded of your father's case right away. Is that what you're investigating now?
Exactly. I still don't have much solid proof, but I can sense that the other side has already begun to act.
Oh, and what makes you say that?
We were attacked on Araneus by some unnumbered Gardamex. And there was also an attempt to get me to drink water from the primordial sea.
If not for the vigilance of my partner, I probably wouldn't even be here talking to you right now.
Oh, you're giving us too much credit. Wasn't it you who protected us?
Alas, it seems things are heating up again. The peace that Callus sought so dearly will soon become a thing of the past. But rest assured, Navia, Poisson will always remain a safe haven for you. If you're scared, you can always return there. If anyone dares to lay their hands on you there, the Confrérie of Cabrières will use its funds to the last Mora to bring them to justice.
Thank you, Uncle Marcel. But I don't intend to go into hiding. I'm going to strike while the iron's hot. Do you have any new thoughts on my father's case?
About that. Sorry, my age is catching up with me, so it'll take me a while to recall my memory. The Confrérie was responsible for that banquet, so I was out and about the whole time making sure things were running smoothly. I didn't even have the time to drink with the guests. Then I heard the sound of a gunshot, and the rest was history.
A gunshot.
Oh, it's okay. No need to push yourself. We'll ask around some more. See if there are any valuable clues elsewhere.
Sounds good. Just let me know if you ever need Mora. All my wealth comes from Callus's patronage and support. I'll spend however much it takes to clear his name.
Okay, information regarding Marcel. Marcel is the leader of the Confrérie of Cabrières. Confrérie of Cabrières, and was the organizer of the banquet years prior. The Confrérie and the Spina di Rosula have always maintained a close working relationship. Though his recollection of the events of the case is quite foggy, he is willing to defend Nadia. Okay.
Alas, why do these kinds of things happen to the kindest people?
Okay. Oh, I see.
We've talked to all three suspects, purely based on their conversations with me.
None of them sounded particularly suspicious.
Yeah, none of them really stood out as a suspect.
I suppose that's to be expected, though. If a single conversation's all that's needed to find them out, then my father wouldn't have needed to investigate the case for so many years. Anyway, even though we didn't make a breakthrough, let's still compile what we were able to find.
But where should we start?
Jacques' motive.
Ah, you're right! Flora mentioned that Callus probably only ended up with the gun because of circumstance. That makes sense.
According to Jacques' family members, he already told them that he had been discovered, and that he had no choice before he left home that day. If I had to guess, he probably received an order from the synth boss to kill my father. Had he refused, he and his family's lives would have been forfeit.
So, Jacques fired the first shot?
If I was Jacques, I wouldn't have fired a shot at all.
And why is that?
Could he guarantee his safety after killing Callus? Could he guarantee his family's safety after killing Callus?
Oh, that's a good point. Jacques probably already knew that he was just being used as a tool for murder. And once he had completed his mission, he'd be of no more use to his boss.
So, what would make more sense from his perspective would be to turn his back on the Order and seek protection from my father.
Seems the third person was the one who derailed everything.
Makes sense. But without evidence, that's still just a theory. Besides Jacques, the attack from the Gardamex has been bothering me quite a bit as well. It's obvious that our enemy has become more antsy after the secret of the primordial seawater was revealed.
Do you think he knew, even then, that we'd follow this lead to the end?
Given everything that's happened since, it's quite possible. But who among the three suspects would have the ability to control privately owned Gardamex?
Marcel.
Uncle Marcel? My father did really trust him. And they worked together on a large number of projects. Maybe that's how he got to know Jacques. And with funds from the Confrérie, he could also afford a large number of Gardamex. It's still really hard for me to imagine, though. After all, Uncle Marcel has been around since I was just a child. Also, wouldn't this mean he has been spending a whole lot of Mora and energy to fight his own synth business?
Maybe it was someone else. Oh, I guess we're going through all of them, are we?
Thierry, you say? It is possible that he's figured out a way to convert the Gardamex for personal use, but I didn't feel like he was lying when he was talking to us about the mecha.
Yeah.
Oops.
Had he actually tampered with the mecha, we'd be able to prove it with a simple check of the guard's inventory. If the mecha were taken from the guards, it should be pretty easy to find out when and how that happened.
Maybe it was someone else.
Florent? It is true that he was closest to my father, and thus had the best chance of learning about his dealings with Jacques. But as Spina di Rosula's advisor, his work mostly deals with personnel and security, so he shouldn't have much means when it comes to finances.
So you're saying he's too broke to afford a mecha army?
Exactly. He can't. And even if he could, I don't think he would be able to dispatch a whole group so quickly. Who could it be?
I think. Oh, okay.
You know, if you think everything through, Uncle Marcel is indeed the most suspicious of them all.
Could we be missing other suspects? Malus didn't know about the people turning into water thing when he narrowed it down to these three, did he?
Malus has always been very reliable, and his judgment of others' trustworthiness has been fair and well considered. When he laid out his case for the three, the rationale he gave me made a lot of sense as well. The suspect is knowledgeable about the Spina's internal affairs, has the means to dispatch Mecha to assassinate us, and possesses significant intellect and foresight. Even if I don't want to believe it, I'm starting to see how things could all tie back to Uncle Marcel.
He is someone who's very close to you after all.
Well, we still have another trump card on top of all the theorizing and speculating.
The synth production base.
Yes, Malus did say that charging straight in there would be extremely risky. But we don't have any other options right now. We need far more solid proof before we can hope to go charging in on our enemy.
Navia, here you are. Oh, I've been looking for you.
Huh? Aren't you the guy from the guards? Did something happen?
Yeah. News came from Irenaeus just after you left. We've got another trial on our hands.
Wasn't that place built specifically for holding trials? What's so newsworthy about this one?
I know. But they said the person they're putting on trial is a Fatui harbinger called Tartaglia.
Oh, it's time.
What? Is that someone you know?
Yeah, we know him. Maybe even a little too well.
Well, he's been accused of being the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case. It's absurd, don't you think?
Wait, how? None of our investigations have had anything to do with him.
That's what I thought was strange about it, so I came to tell you the news right away. If the charge against him stands, then it'll be next to impossible to get the guards to support any of our planned investigations.
Right, because they'll think they've already found the culprit.
Yeah, and it'll be a lot harder then to clear Mr. Callus's name.
I understand. Well, partner, what do you think we should do? We still haven't found any conclusive evidence.
Let's split up.
Huh? Split up? What do you mean?
You can go to Irenaeus while I'll go to investigate that place. I'm confident in my combat abilities.
Just as expected of my partner. Since this is a trial about the serial disappearances case, the culprit's attention will be focused on Irenaeus, leaving his home base wide open. You're right. This is our best opportunity. All right then, let's do this. I'll stall them at the Opera House and charge Marcel as the true culprit. I won't have any chance of making that charge stick though, unless we find more evidence. It'll be up to you to make it back in time and hand the decisive evidence to me.
Leave it to me.
Just like you helped us in Linny's trial.
Demoiselle, please allow us to accompany you.
I'm ready.
Ah, Malou, Silver. When did you two get here?
We heard that you'll be leaving Poisson and figured that you might require our assistance.
They're still feeling kind of sus to me.
It's our hope that your confidence will be bolstered with the two of us by your side.
Thank you so much. Then, let's make haste for Arrhenius. Paimon, Traveler, I'll see you at the Opera House.
See you then!
Okay, suspect analysis. Combining the information regarding the Gardamex and the investigation results so far, it can be concluded that there is only one person who can have a large number of Gardamex in his possession and run the synth business without leaving traces. This person is none other than Marcel.
Now that Navia has set out for Arrhenius, we should also get going. The location has already been marked on the map, so let's head over.
Okay, let me see if I should stop.
Melusines are beautiful creatures. They are the pride of Fontaine.
Indeed.
Be sure to befriend them and cause them no harm.
Okay, give me a sec. Alright, what is this called? When all return to the waters. Let's see. All right, okay, I think I'm in the last section. But we shall see if we need to start prepping dinner. Ah, the next part might be long. So we will finish this next time. All right. There we go. Okay. This is a good place to stop. So I will stop here. And then we will pick this up next time. So let's see. Oh, sorry guys. Thank you all so much for joining. I don't really think I have any other viewers right now, so this is for those of you guys who are watching this after the fact. Thank you for watching. I hope that this has been a relaxing kind of, you know, background noise for you for whatever you've been doing. I hope that you guys are having a great holiday season. I'll be back again probably next week to continue this because I think a new patch is coming soon. So we do want to kind of really push through more of the story here. So I'll probably see you guys next week. I love you all so very much. Please stay happy, healthy, and safe. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. See you.